Hey, my dear Mounties! Welcome to week 4 of our semester. Could you believe it? We're exactly a month in. How time does fly. That's always the case. So, I'd like to start this module with a random fact about the ocean. Let's check it out. So, what we have today blew me away when I saw it. Look at this. It says human beings have only explored 5% of the sea. We know more about the surface of the moon than the floor of the ocean. Think about how much there is still to discover, considering that we've only just explored 5% of the sea. There's still 95% to unearth. Imagine just how much there still is to see. It blows my mind. Have you guys ever seen those deep sea creatures and those organisms that live where the light does not penetrate the ocean? They are some wild looking creatures. So that is our fact for this week. Now let's take a look at our syllabus. As you will see, we do have our writing workshop. So with that, let's talk about let me turn on the fan actually. It is rather hot. Let's see. There we go. All right. So, writing. When we pick up a book, when we read something beautifully written, we have to remember that it didn't just magically come about. No. But rather the writer had to take a series of steps. You see, writing is a process. Everything from the brainstorming and the outlining to writing the rough draft, which is what we're going to do alongside the workshop. It's an important part of the process because it is the opportunity to, I think, do something that can be difficult if we have an idea of perfection. But I want to remind you of something. There is no such thing as a perfect first draft. Instead, that's going to sound a bit crass to you, but you have to just vomit out your ideas just right, no matter how disjointed, messy, disorganized, all over the place your draft may be. Just get it out, just vomit it out onto the page. And that's what I'm inviting you to do for this week. Vomit out your ideas, just start writing your draft. Now, what's different about a rough draft, of course, is that it's more than the brainstorm, it's more than the outline. It's you actually getting started on your essay and just trying your hand at writing it. Just go forth and just start writing, and give yourself permission to be disorganized, to be messy, to be all over the place. That's what we have for this week. And I'm going to ask that, so for the final draft, you know that it's 3.5 double-spaced pages, right? But for this rough draft, I'm asking you to have at least 2 of those pages done. Now, as you will see, asking that you post the rough draft by Thursday by 11:59 p.m. What's going to happen is that the Canvas system is going to automatically distribute drafts, 3 drafts, to each of those of you who submitted in a draft on time. And the Canvas system is going to do this distribution, this random distribution, exactly 1 minute after this deadline. So it's going to happen exactly on Friday, March 18, right at 12 a.m. And you're going to have until Sunday to leave feedback for your classmates' drafts. And now, when we sit down in real person classes and face-to-face classes, we have an opportunity to exchange papers for your classmates to highlight and to write marginal notes. And then comes the most important part. You sit down and you talk about your comments and what it is that you saw in their draft to one another. You don't just say, here, it was good. No, you sit down and have a conversation. So I've created an equivalent through our Canvas system, and I'll explain the logistics of that in this video. Another thing you'll note is that we also have the MLA practice worksheet homework due on the 20th, which is going to be due on Sunday this year. Okay, so with that, let's take a look at our Canvas page so we can look at some logistics here. All right, here is the link for the MLA practice worksheet. Remember, that's due Sunday. That was from our intertextuality lesson of last week. All right, so what you're going to do after you write your rough drafts of at least 2 pages for this essay, you're just going to submit it into this link. Remember that the accepted formats are doc, docx, and PDF. Remember, if you're running something like Google Docs, just make sure to convert it into one of those acceptable formats before submitting it. So, another thing that I want you to do is that at the end of your rough drafts, I want you to write things or questions that you have about your draft. What are some things that you want your classmates who will be looking at your draft to pay attention to? Do you have any questions? Is anything unclear? Would you like some feedback about a particular section? Just make sure to write that at the end of your rough draft. So that is that. That's going to be how this is going to work. I want to show you the tools that you have allotted to you, like what it's going to look like from your end. In addition, I've also going to include an announcement where it's going to show a video that demonstrates just what it will look like from your end once you do receive those 3 drafts, which remember, you're going to get them exactly 1 minute after this deadline of Thursday 17th. So you'll get it right on Friday, March 18th, right at 12 a.m. So check out this video that you'll see in announcements for how it's going to look like on your end to access those drafts. So next, let's actually take a look at what it looks like from your end. Now, I know that none of you have submitted anything. It just makes sense, yeah, because it's still quite early. But I'm going to show you from my other class what it looks like, just so that you can see the tools that we have. So I also teach at Citrus. So I'm going to log in, and I'm going to open up a previous class. So I did teach winter in Citrus this past winter. Let's open up the winter class. Okay. This is past. Where's winter 22? Here we go. Found it. Found it. All right. So let's pull up an example. Let's find a workshop. Here we go. So first of all, this essay is different, right? This example that we're looking at. So don't worry so much about what this essay is. I just want you to pay attention to how it is we're going to do this, yeah? This workshop. So let's pull up one of the students' submissions. All right. Okay, they submitted it physically, so let me see. I need somebody who submitted it digitally. I think. Why am I not finding it? Oh, here we go. All right, I found it. Thank you, Sean. So let me make this a bit smaller. There we go. All right. So from your end, you are going to see it like this. You're going to have the draft, and you're going to have this toolbox here, this toolbar up here. Now, remember that I said that a workshop, if we were in person, takes the shape of both writing it and marking up the draft that you get. That includes highlighting, that includes marginal comments on the side, and in addition to that, writing a message, like of an ultimate takeaway, and we sit down and you talk with one another, right, about the draft. Well, the equivalent of that through Zoom is going to be as follows. Number one, I'm going to ask that you mark up their text, and then I'm going to ask that you also leave them a comment here, okay? That's going to take the shape of what it is that you do in real face-to-face classes where you sit down and talk about it. So again, in order to get full credit, I want you to please mark up their text, write them comments or highlight things too, and leave them a comment here. Now, let's take a look at the tool bar that we have at the top. We can even make this big, just so you can see. Perfect. Okay, so like I said, don't pay attention to the essay itself, just pay attention to the tools that you have allotted to you through Canvas. Obviously, this is to turn it, but I don't think you need to do that anyway. This is Zoom, and this is just to have the mouse as a cursor, because obviously what you click controls what becomes of the mouse, right? This is an important one. This bubble here allows you to annotate, to have comments anywhere that you click, so that you're able to leave comments anywhere that you click. Let's say you click here and say, hey, this is a good start, but consider blah, 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 blah. Okay, so again, anywhere you click, it lets you leave a comment there. This is if you want to highlight. So let's pretend you highlight this, you can control colors, so that's pretty cool. And in addition to that, every single function that you see here allows you to also have a comment here on the side, which is what this icon here is. So let's say you highlight this, and then maybe you write, yes, this is so important. Okay, that is to highlight. This T is for a text box. So let's say you want to put a text box here. This is where your paragraph shifts. Consider starting a new one. Okay, so that is for the text box. This one is to strike out text. So let's pretend you come across something that is extraneous, and you can demonstrate that through striking it out. So let's strike it out, and just like with everything, you can also write a comment on the side. So this is extraneous, consider blah blah blah. Okay, this one allows you to actually draw directly on it. So let's say we want to put an exclamation mark because something surprised you. Whoa. Oops. Whoa. Oh, why is this all caps? Whoa, this is so surprising because blah, 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 blah. This one here allows you to create a box around any text that you select. So you can go like this. You could say maybe flesh this idea out. So there you have it, my friends. Those are the tools that we have available to us. So remember, in addition to leaving these marginal notes on the side as well as the annotations, I want you to also leave a personal comment to the student, and you're going to do that here in this box. By the way, Sean here, if he comes back to this draft, will be like, oh wow, why is this all marked up? What happened? I'll erase it, but okay. So in addition to these comments here, I want you to also leave a comment in here. Now you have the option of typing it out. You can say, hey Sean, I read through your draft and it's a good start because you can write it out, or you can do my favorite, which is a media comment. So you go here. Oh, this is if you want to actually attach like your feedback. This is cool. This is if you actually want to speak and have it type out what it is that you're speaking. But this was my favorite. Okay, you click here. Oh, okay, sure. Okay, you can go to here, start recording. Hey, Sean. Oh, and another thing too. I recommend having open in another tab the draft itself so that you can see just what it is that you said in your comments so you can remember, obviously. And then you talk about that. Just speak to them directly. Hey, Sean, I read through your draft. It's a good start. Do consider these areas, blah, blah, blah. And remember to flesh out these points, blah, blah, blah. So you can leave them a message. Or if you don't want to do video, you can go tier to webcam. You can click no video and leave audio, only audio. So, whether you choose to type out your comment or to leave some media comment, it's all good. And that is it. That is what we will be doing for the 3 drafts that you're going to get. And that's how we're going to be doing it for our essays this semester. We're always going to workshop it. And the way that the points are going to work is that you get 5 points for submitting in on time, submitting in your rough draft on time. And then you're going to get 5, 5, and 5 points for the feedback that you're going to leave the 3 students for a total of 20 points, right? So that is that. Make sure to get those feedback. Make sure to get the feedback in by Sunday. With that is our peer review workshop. Remember to also get in your MLA practice worksheet by Sunday. That is what we have for this week. Hope it helps. Please let me know if you have any questions. With that, enjoy your week.